Okay, well, thank you everybody for joining us today. Good afternoon to those of us on the East Coast, and good morning to those of you joining us from the West Coast. We're very excited for the opportunity to share with you today our experience providing grants management support on the ServiceNow platform. We've assembled a panel for you today that we think should provide insight into how the iTech AG solution has helped our customers embrace modern, efficient ways of working with grants. This has enabled the grant recipients to benefit from the money and not have it spent on administrative costs. So let's introduce our speakers. My name is Matthew Tiani, and I'm the Executive Vice President with iTech AG. We are a technology consulting firm that delivers innovative solutions. We modernize our customer systems and processes and help them unlock their true potential. With me today, I have Chris Anello. Chris.
Hi, everybody. I'm Chris Anello. I'm part of the ServiceNow Federal Healthcare team. I lead all the solution consultants that support all of our HHS customers, as well as the VA and Defense Health. I've been at ServiceNow over 5 years serving our federal customers.
Thank you, Chris. And also our esteemed customer, Lee Hollis, is with us today. Lee?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Lee Hollis. I am the Interim Finance and Operations Manager here at Montgomery County. In our Office of CARES Act. I am also in our compliance department, and I am glad to be here to share this information with you all.
And we're glad that you're here with us as well, Lee. Thank you so much. All right, now let's briefly go over what we'll be discussing today. So first, we will delve into the power of the ServiceNow platform. We've been fortunate to partner with ServiceNow for many years now, and as that has enabled us to deliver a great deal of success to our customers. We can explore how the vast platform capabilities can also offer your organization's benefits. Then we'll transition briefly into me discussing the iTech developed application, the Grants Management Accelerator, and the genesis of how that came to be. And then we'll hear testimonial from Lee on how our solution solves real-world problems and enabled the Montgomery County CARES Act office the ability to distribute COVID relief, and how we had the system in production in as little as 20 business days. Finally, and most importantly, we'll give you a live demonstration of the iTech AG Grants Management Accelerator, and then show you how we've been able to rapidly tweak and tailor that to meet the Montgomery County needs. But we'll make sure to save time at the end for any questions that may arise. So please feel free to put them in the Q&A queue. Don't wait, as we don't want you to forget about them. And we want to be sure to have an interactive discussion. It's very important that we cover any topics that you might want to discuss that maybe we didn't bring up as part of the presentation. So without further ado, let's learn more about the power of the ServiceNow platform.
So hi, everybody. The ServiceNow platform obviously has been supporting IT service management for many years. And we're strong believers that behind every great experience, there's a great workflow. As work travels across your enterprise, automating those business processes on a single platform really can deliver a lot of value to folks who are leveraging this technology. Obviously, at the core of the platform are shared capabilities, and they're purpose-built applications a lot of our customers have leveraged over time. Obviously, the IT workflows that I mentioned, some employee workflows for HR, some customer service management workflows. But in this little corner here, the app engine, that's mainly what we're going to talk about today. ServiceNow also provides deep integrations into your back office processes or some of your other systems of record to really further automate the delivery of services across the enterprise, and in this case, to citizens and constituents. And then a front-end mobile experience and portal experience really to provide your customers that delightful end user experience, all wrapped up into a single platform on a FedRAMP high, fully available cloud. So following those NIST requirements for FedRAMP are highly important for our federal and state and local customers, right? To make sure that your data is secure. Now, having this platform with all these core capabilities, almost like reusable components, allows our customers to get a lot of speed and agility into deploying new capabilities to the enterprise. Obviously, enhancing that experience, really bringing that modern user interface to our end users and really modernizing how they engage with our systems. but at the same time, maintaining that high level of security, auditability, and governance over these applications that you deploy to the enterprise. Now, the ServiceNow platform, part of its value is really you can create these applications very fast. Our partners like iTech AG for state and local customers have been able to do this. Also in the federal government, a lot of customers are able to deliver applications quickly. Obviously, connect those to your critical systems if they're part of your process. Create those amazing experiences with pre-built capabilities, right? A mobile interface, a service portal, a lot of reusable components to bring that agility, and then take it to the next level. Really, how can we leverage all this information to add automation, intelligence? Obviously, a value that Montgomery County has leveraged is the reporting for the auditability and governance of the process. So really having that business intelligence in your platform with all the data in there can also help you have that continuous improvement and continue to mature your processes. And a great example of this obviously is the iTech AG Accelerator, leveraging these now capabilities for delivering and digitizing grants management processes. So Matt, do you want to move on with the accelerator?
Yes, thank you, Chris. Leveraging the Now platform truly does provide a vast number of capabilities for us. So managing grants or any funding allocation program really can be burdensome and may reach the point of being untenable. Now, we've been fortunate enough to work with a variety of different clients and be able to learn and understand the business of grants, the business of scholarships, the business of distribution of funding. And so whether it's the scholarship or a scientific research request or a small business seeking pandemic relief, the life cycle, is typically very, very similar. So what is the grants management process? What is this life cycle I'm talking about? Well, there's always going to be some type of application. There's going to be an outreach to get to find the person who is needing of this money. So once they identify the need and the ability to get the money to meet this need, they have to be able to apply and apply quickly. There's always going to be some form of a review, whether it's an evaluation or whether it's an eligibility. There's some type of process that has to be followed so that we can understand who is getting the money. Then once that process of the evaluation and or independent selection takes place, then it has to be able to quickly offer this money or this grant to the recipient. There has to be a method for that recipient to accept and acknowledge that there is some type of contractual relationship there. So with this acceptance, there could also be a rejection because the money is there to be distributed, and if this individual or group or business does not want the money, they would need to be able to move on to another recipient. All this can be rapidly done in our system. So once the contractual obligation is there has to be a payment, as this is the whole purpose of the grants process. Now, if the payment is too much or if the contractual bond is broken, there has to be some form of ability to provide a refund or a default if that becomes necessary. So regardless of what is being granted, this is typically the life cycle. So what have we done? Let's take a look at the next slide. Anytime you're dealing with the distribution of money, it's critical to ensure there's not any fraud, waste, or abuse. These programs are typically highly visible and require a great deal of oversight and compliance reporting. So based on our customer feedback, we knew that we were onto something. We had turned a manual and often stovepipe process into a gratifying experience. We took what we had delivered for this government program and created a foundational building block for future programs. So where there had previously been disconnects, there's now digitized workflows. So where compliance was often a fire drill and both challenging and tedious, we tried to make it as streamlined and as efficient as possible. So as I mentioned, we wanted this to be gratifying. So we also wanted this to be scalable and flexible for each type of the typical users and the various different grants processes. So applicants, there's always going to be some type of an application, as I mentioned. So we want to be able to accommodate both users, unknown and known. So if it's a grant maybe within a hospital, you may know who all the doctors vying for this grant is, and then they could log in and we could inherit a much of their username or their credentials and their information. Now, if this is a COVID relief grant, we may not know who this small business is or who this teacher or who this school is applying for the pandemic relief, and therefore we need to be able to accommodate unknown people. So we've built custom tables within the ServiceNow platform that would map to this either way, whether they're logged in or not logged in. We can submit information and create a known user. We can submit attachments. We can create various types of applications dependent upon the information that the grant is requesting, and we can do this very rapidly. The next type of persona that is involved in the grants management process is that evaluation and selection lifecycle phase that I mentioned. Is this a merit or an eligibility type of grant? A merit grant may have multiple reviews to ensure that this is truly the most deserving customer. You know, it could be a tiered review. It could be a rubric that we've built in that automatically determines whether they're eligible or not. We've also built custom scorecards that would associate to this application and be able to allow an evaluator to fill out a score. We can then pass that score on to somebody else to complete a final selection. All of this would be out of the box functionality within our Grants Management Accelerator. The fourth, and obviously most important, is the payment. Now, we can create a payment roster, and we've also leveraged the platform. And as you saw Chris talk about, there's connectors pre-built, or there's open APIs where we can build a connector to third-party payment systems. So perhaps there's an accounts payable office where we just need to build a roster and cycle it to them as part of the workflow, and then they indicate with this part of the workflow that they've paid it in a different system. Or perhaps you need our skilled engineers to build a connection to a payment processing platform that will actually send money to a bank account, whether that be for a school to pay their tuition, whether that be to an individual to provide the COVID relief. We can do that for you, and we can do that rapidly as well. The fourth type of persona would be the grant manager or the compliance personnel. Now, we've found that post-grant awardee or post-grantee, they have to typically do some type of tasks. They do not simply give money away without providing evidence that they've completed whatever their contractual obligation was. Sometimes there's various tranches of funding that requires certain milestones or key things to be met before the next batch of funding is released. So we've built those taskings. We've built the availability of individuals to report on various things, executive level dashboards. Some of our reports have to go all the way back to the Treasury Department or Congress even. And so this enables transparency into where the funding is, who received it, why they received it, can take away the onus on the grant manager to track this in a spreadsheet or some other stovepipe mechanism, and truly creates one single system of record. So that being said, let's look at a real life use case and hear from Montgomery County on how the iTech Grants Management Accelerator has helped provide this COVID relief that I speak of to their constituents in response to our current pandemic. Lee?
Awesome, thank you, Matt. Just wanted to share a little bit about how Montgomery County has leveraged utilizing this system. A little bit about Montgomery County. We're located in Southwest Ohio with an approximate population of about 550,000 individuals. To assist in responding to the impacts of COVID-19, Montgomery County was awarded $200 million from the Department of Treasury for the Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act, also known as the CARES Act. And we received 92 million of the 200 million of those dollars in early May. Once we received $92 million, we established a temporary department that was tasked with developing a grant program to distribute these funds back into the community by the end of this year, so by December 30th of 2020. So that only left our department about 7 months to get these funds out into our community. So we went ahead and developed a manual process here at Montgomery County just to get the program started. But during this manual process, there were many challenges that we were facing. The first challenge was database storage. We were keeping a lot of our information in different locations, so some on our shared drive, some in our cloud, and it was just really challenging to retrieve any information that we needed. Second, our workflow was conducted through email, so we had one person that was ensuring that all applications that were being submitted were assigned to reviewers. We have different reviewers that review applications. So we only had one person ensuring that these applications were being assigned and that the applications were actually going through the review process along with the required documentation that was needed. The third challenge with this manual process that we had was to keep the daily insights of the multiple processes. Because of this, it was really hard to identify which parts of the program were effective and which parts needed enhancement due to the quick turnaround time of this program. Lastly, we were not able to retrieve an applicant status in a timely manner. So again, because our workflow was conducted via email, we had to use more manpower and more time to identify when applications were being approved, denied, or just provide that overall status to that applicant. So with these different challenges here at Montgomery County, we knew that we needed an automated system in order to meet our deadline. So our operations team, including myself, we began meeting with iTech to develop this product in the ServiceNow system. And like Matt has stated, in just 20 business days, iTech was able to develop a solution that was tailored to our specific needs for our small business grant program that we had. This product took everything that we were doing manually and pretty much just streamlined the entire process while also enhancing the overall efficiency of the program by identifying different ways and different capabilities that we noticed was beneficial to the overall grant program. And in addition to the small business grant program, we also rapidly expanded to add 4 additional sectors to our grant program. So that was education, nonprofit, daycare, and agriculture. And just to put this into perspective, for each different sector, it required new documentation, new applications, checklist, workflow, grant agreements. So while we were implementing different programs, iTech was also able to develop other grant programs and implement those while maintaining the other grant programs that we already rolled out. So they were just very attentive in meeting our demands and implementing these multiple grant programs in just a short duration of time. So there are 3 key features that has been a success to our grant program. First is the auditability. Knowing that these funds can be audited by the Department of Treasury, we needed a system that we knew was reliable and that we were able to trust. So in the ServiceNow system that we have for our grant program, we're able to track movement on applications. We're able to see when applicants submitted their applications, when documents were attached, when reviewers reviewed the application, whenever an application was processed. So having that information really helps that audit process, especially once it comes time to do that compliance piece for our grant program. And also from that auditability point of view, the being able to store information. Again, we had data in different places, but once we were able to get the ServiceNow system, it centralized our data into one place. So whenever we need particular data or information, we can retrieve that information in a timely manner and just have one place to go to get that. Next is from an analytical point of view. In the ServiceNow system, iTech has assisted us in showing us how to pull different reports in different formats. So if that's in a CSV, Excel, PDF, we're able to pull different reports with the different data points that we need. So one big thing for our particular grant program here at Montgomery County is we have a third-party vendor who distribute our checks for us, but iTech was able to set up a report in the system where all it takes is 2 clicks to download that information on that weekly basis and send it over so that we are able to get these funds, again, back out to our community in that timely manner. Not only that, from that analytical perspective, we're able to report trends back to our leadership so that they are aware of updates pertaining to the grant program. The last key feature that has been a success is the visibility. First, from a cosmetic point of view, iTech matched the system to the branding that we use here at Montgomery County. So it's very appealing to the eye when applicants are completing the applications. Furthermore, they also provided different dashboards. Again, we have 5 different sectors. So we have different dashboards for different sectors, which makes it so much more easier when having to pull specific data tailored to a particular industry. And lastly, with visibility comes usability. The system has been very user-friendly for us in providing status updates to our applicants. And again, it's very easy and accessible to retrieve and pull information. I know I always share that one of my favorite features is a wildcard search. So if we have an applicant calling or an applicant that has walked in, we're able to just do a wildcard search using different data points on that application to be able to retrieve that information in a timely manner. And overall, the system has just been very beneficial in meeting and exceeding our needs, especially in the short period of time that we have for this grant program.
Thank you, Lee. That's very kind words. It's been great working with you, and it's been even more gratifying to know that our solution's been able to provide a need to those, or service to those in need based on the pandemic. But enough talking, let's move on to the solution demonstration. I'm hopeful that this has drummed up a lot of interest, and I will have Josh Cohen, one of our lead engineers here with iTech AG, walk you through both the Grants Management Accelerator and then quickly tell a story about how this has been quick and show you the Montgomery County instance that we've also been talking about. So, Josh?
Awesome, thanks, Matt. Let me pull up my screen here. Let me know when you all can see that.
We can see it.
Awesome. So we'll start off here with the Grant Management Accelerator public portal. So on the public portal, awardees or potential applicants, I should say, would come in and be able to view any information about the program, any eligibility requirements associated with the program, and then obviously actually apply. There are also some quick links here. This one on the left is for the grant managers in case they wanted to come through the public portal. They'd be able to access their management portal to view program statistics and actually work and evaluate the applications. As well, in the public portal, we have a link to the Awardee Portal where applicants who have been offered awards can actually go in and view the awards that have been offered to them and choose to either accept or decline them. They can also manage their tasks associated with their award. So through the public portal, the main purpose of it is for the application itself. So in our accelerator, we just have a very basic application that's tailored towards academic scholarships. It's nothing too crazy. The whole purpose of the accelerator is that it's easily customizable to match whatever needs that the customer needs. So if the customer wants to track different data points through the application, of course we can do that. We can make it look however they want, brand it however they want. It's all about flexibility. So the next portion that I want to show off is the manager portal. So this is where the actual work in the grant management process happens. So through here, the manager has links to their dashboard to see overall program usage and actually work the applications. They also have access to awards associated with them. We have an operations page, which I'll get into in a little bit, that has a whole host of information. And we also have our financial side of the manager portal, where they can view financial statistics, create payment records, and view those payment records. So in here on the dashboard, you're going to see a lot of information. So we have, at the top, we just have quick reports at a glance, so you can view quick program information. Again, all of this is highly customizable. On the left side, we can see all the managers also associated with the program. We can see all awardees that are awaiting awards to be given out. We can see individual offered awards and declined awards, awards that have been rescinded. And then on the right-hand side, we can see the workflow of the actual grant management application. So when an applicant applies in our program, they need to be approved or denied to even get into the system. So through here, a new application would show up, and the manager could click on the application and actually view all of the information that has been submitted by the applicant, and they can choose whether or not to approve or decline the application. Once they've been approved, they'll move on into the evaluation phase. In our accelerator, we developed a workflow that states that 3 different evaluators need to evaluate an application before it can move on to the selection phase. So through here, evaluators and managers are able to click in, and they can view the application again on the left side, see all the information that was submitted. And then on the right side, we can see a scorecard. In our system, we use a metric-based evaluation, but obviously that can be tailored to fit whatever the customer needs. So like I said, once an evaluation is, or once there have been 3 evaluations done on the application, they'll move on into the selection phase. In the selection phase, any number of grant managers can select an applicant that they like. Again, we use a metric-based system, so they could choose it based off the average score, or if there's other criteria being used on the scorecard, we can display that to make it easy for managers to decide who they would like to accept into their award programs. So through here, again, you're able to see the application, also an average score associated with that application for our particular use case. Then you're able to select the applicant simply using the Select Applicant button. Once an applicant has been selected, they'll show up here on the left-hand side in the awardees section. In here, managers are able to select an applicant that has been selected and choose to offer them an award. On this page, we see the awardee record associated. So at this point, once an award is offered, a user record is generated for the applicant so that they're able to then access the awardee portal. So now I'll switch it over to the awardee portal. And in here, we can see that I'm signed in as a demo awardee that we call Johnny Applicant. So through here, we're able to see a couple different screens. So we have access to our tasks associated with awards that we've accepted. We're able to see awards, showing all the awards that have been offered to us, ones that we've declined and ones that we've accepted. Then finally, we're able to see our financial side of the awardee portal. We're able to view payments that have been made out to us through our grants or any refund payments that we've had to make. So in here, I'll click on the awards section, and we're able to see that Johnny Applicant has been offered a total of 5 awards. So through here, Johnny has accepted 2 awards. There's still 2 more offered to him, and he's declined 1 of them. So in here, Johnny would be able to click into the record and view the award. It's just a very simple record because, again, this is highly customizable, so we want to make it as simple as possible at the beginning and then tailor it to whatever the customer needs. So through here, we're able to see the award amount and who offered it and what the name of the award is. They can simply accept or decline the award using these buttons. And then once an award has been accepted, we'll go back to the home screen and tasks will be generated for the awardee. So once an award is accepted, 3 tasks are automatically generated. We can see 2 are still in the to-do. Once an awardee has started working on a task, it will move into in progress. And once they've completed their task, it will be in the completed section. Tasks are not completed until they've been verified by a manager, which is why we have this fourth queue here for verified. So just clicking into a task, you're easily able to see information that you need to complete the task. So in this case, it's completing bank information, so providing some basic information here. So we'll just save that for now. And I didn't move the state. So now we have set it to requested so that it's completed for us and the manager will have to verify it for us. Also in the awardee portal, I talked about the financial page, so I'll show that off a bit. So in here, we're able to see our grants. So we take the summation of all grants that have been accepted and any payments that have occurred for it and show it here in My Grants. We've split it up into 3 different sections for tuition, stipend, and miscellaneous. Anytime a payment is made by the manager or payment record is created by the manager, they specify a type for the payments that once they submit it, it will show up in the correct section for this so they can tally up exactly how much money they've gotten for each type of payment. We can also see individual payments that have been made out to us, and then we can also see any refund payments that we've made. If for whatever reason our payment goes into default, we're easily able to make a payment with this button, generates a payment record that we fill out with the correct information, and then it'll show up in the system. If there's a need to actually process payments through the Grant Management Accelerator, we can easily hook up a third-party payment API and work that out. So that's everything on the awardee side. I'm going to hop back into the manager portal now. We'll take a look at some of the other sections. So in here, we're able to see individual awards that we still have to offer as the grant manager. And then we can also see all the awards that we've offered out and who we've offered them to. It's a very simple page, nothing too crazy going on there. The operations page is home to a lot of information for the grant managers. So in here, we just have quick information at a glance reports. And in here, we can see the scholar task section. So if you remember, I just completed a task as Johnny applicant. So now it needs to be verified by his manager, which is who I'm currently logged in as. So I can easily click into the record and view the information that they provided, say, yep, that looks good to me, so we can approve it. Now that we've approved it, it moves over into the verified scholar tasks, and for Johnny on the awardee portal, it would show up as verified now and move out of the complete queue. At any time, we could also just create a task and then assign it to the awardee in case we need to gather any more information. So going back into the operations page, we also have more tiles just showing information about the program, so we can see all the individual grant evaluators associated with the program. And we can also create a new grant evaluator on the fly. This will automatically generate a user record for the evaluator, and it will grant them all the correct permissions so that they can start evaluating apps immediately. We also have the evaluations tile, which shows all evaluations that still need to happen on applications. We can see again all the individual grant evaluators here for quick information at a glance. We can see all our completed evaluations, and then we can also see all the individual evaluations that have occurred. So it makes the system easily auditable at a glance. Also on the operations page, we have the ever so important reports section. This gives us a high-level overview of the program as a whole. And obviously, using the power of ServiceNow, we're able to track any number of the fields that are put onto the application form or any payment records or anything like that. So really this page, we set it up based off what we thought for the accelerator, but this is highly configurable and we can do whatever you need in terms of reporting. Finally, on the operations page, we also have a simple file share. It's nothing too crazy. It's not like SharePoint or anything, but it gets the job done. And here we're able to store files and categorize them. So in case you have specific documentation on how to evaluate applications or how to create a task or how to evaluate a task, you can have those documents here that everyone could access through the manager portal to view how to do stuff. Finally, on the management portal, we have the financial section. So in here, we're easily able to see information at a glance, again, utilizing dashboards within ServiceNow. And we can also see individual payments that have gone out to awardees. We can also see refund payments that have been made by awardees. And then in total, our awards over $40,000 and under $40,000. Again, these numbers are arbitrary, but highly configurable. We also have this button here to quickly make a payment record for awardees to actually pay them out. So we select the applicant that we want to pay money to through the award. We choose our disbursement category, like I explained, and then we can specify an amount for it and when it happens. And since we don't have a payment API hooked up to it, this is a manual process and it's just storing records for this, but we can say that the payment is completed and it has been posted today. And so now that we've done that, we have a new payment record for Johnny showing up in here. And on Johnny's end, he would see a new payment come through on his end. So in short, that's everything in the accelerator. So now I want to switch it over to the Montgomery County CARES Act application that we set up, just showing you how we took this accelerator and made it fit exactly what Montgomery County needed. So on here is the public portal. And in fact, any one of you guys would be able to go to this page. It would just be MC CARES instead of MC CARES Test. And anyone can actually come in and apply. I don't think they'll approve your application if you're outside of Montgomery County, but feel free, I guess. So through here, like Lee said, we have 5 industry types.
I want to put a disclaimer that this is all test data. None of this is real production, and the data has all been scrambled.
Yeah. So through here, we can see the different applications. So this will look somewhat familiar to the accelerator, but we branded it how they wanted it. So through here, we can see the actual application form. Again, looks very familiar, but contains a lot more information that they wanted to capture for each individual application. So applicants are able to come in here and actually apply, and they could also check their application status once they have applied. So through here, I think I still have it. Yep. So they're able to enter in their application number. Once they've submitted their application, they receive an email containing their application number and further instructions to move on in the application process. And they could check to see that, okay, yep, my application is still in review. And then at any time, they would be able to cancel their application. So this goes into one of the pain points that Lee was talking about with the manual process, that it's now much simpler for applicants to be able to come through and check the status of their application. Finally, I want to show the management portal. So through here, Ohio is able to actually evaluate and manage their applications as well as the financial aspects of the grants. So we have our dashboards over here for all the individual industry types. So I'll go into the small business dashboard. And through here, we're able to see all the information about how our program is flowing along. So we can see all the applications in individual tiers. It's a different workflow than how we built it out in GMA, but it still works. So in here, they're able to click into a record eventually. And they're able to view their application on the left, just like the accelerator, and then the checklist on the right. And they're able to quickly and efficiently fill that out and move it on to the next tier. Also, on the small business dashboard, as well as every dashboard, you're able to just see high-level program information about if applications are on hold, or if we have a duplicate check-in built into the system to make sure that people aren't submitting applications multiple times. You can see all the approved, declined, any sort of information you want to collect, we can store on this dashboard and make it efficient and easy to view. Finally, we have the ever so important reports page, which shows, again, a high-level overview of the program as a whole. Let's actually go. Yep. So in here, we have a really cool report that shows where people have been applying from and how many at each individual location. This, of course, right now is for Montgomery County, but it could scale up for the entire state of Ohio, showing where everyone is applying from, or even across all the states of America. And then if it's a worldwide organization, it could work for the entire world and show exactly where people are applying from and how many from each location. And again, we can see a bunch of high-level program information showing how many applications are assigned at each tier and who they're assigned to, how long it takes to complete an application from start to finish, and a whole bunch of other information. This report does get sent out once a week, so it's been extremely beneficial for the Ohio CARES Act team. So after that, that should be, the financials page is the last section. So through here, they're able to view all grants that have been completed and are still awaiting a check number from the third-party vendor. And then they can also see all the individual payment records so that they can quickly and efficiently update them. So you can just simply click in to update the check number and go from there. As well, we can also see the standing of applications for the compliance and monitoring. So in the Ohio system, after November, if people haven't completed their expense report task, their application goes into warning and they get reminded to keep doing their task. And then if it goes past January of the next year, then their application will go into default, and that's where refund payments will come into account. So that covers everything for the state of Ohio and finishes this demo. So I will bring back up the PowerPoints. So does anyone have any questions for us? And Matt, I can turn it back over to you.
Yes, thank you very much, Josh. That was very good. That's interesting and also explanatory on how we were able to rapidly change this foundational application and accelerate it into the production environment for Montgomery County. So our contact information is on the screen. We are happy to spend time talking with you individually. We're happy to provide tailored or customized demos for you of this application. That's one of the beauties of having this accelerator. We could rapidly tailor it to your individual needs. Also, any other questions regarding the ServiceNow platform and the various things and capabilities that it can do for you, Haley would be happy to address those and schedule times with the appropriate ServiceNow representative. So that concludes our webinar for today. If there's any additional questions, please feel free to reach out. And thank you so much for choosing to spend some time with us today.